It's time for Money for Lunch, where we feed your brain and your business with supersized portions of business and financial news. Now your host, Bert Martinez.
Guys, we are back with Carl Barnowski. Let me tell you a little bit about Carl. He is a financial expert. Carl Barnowski is a best-selling author, recently co-authoring with Steve Forbes and other industry-leading experts. He is a U.S. Army veteran, graduate of Purdue University, and founder of the Barnowski Financial Group with 23 years of experience bringing transparency to retirement income planning in a consumer-friendly versus a product-centric environment. Carl Barnowski, welcome to Money for Lunch.
It's great to be here, Bert. Thanks for having me.
You bet. All right, so congratulations on the best-selling author thing. Also, hanging out with Steve Forbes. That's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's got quite a brand. I'll tell you what. It was a great experience. I do pretty consistent blog posting, and that's how they found me to participate in that, and it's really been a great experience. And obviously, doesn't hurt from a credibility standpoint as well. So.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about this because you talk about this transparency in a consumer-oriented environment during the intro, and so I want you to kind of tell us more about that and what you're doing to change the landscape of the financial service industry, because there are so many hidden, I don't know if they're hidden, there's a lot of fees, a lot of different designations, so walk us through what you're doing there.
Yeah, I mean, historically, and I've obviously grown up in the financial services industry, and it is a pitch and catch business. I mean, people, have used the traditional ways of trying to attract clients with their credentials, whether it's a CLU, CHFC, all this fun stuff. But at the end of the day, it's always been about selling product, and I've caught on to that several years ago when you feel that pushback with potential clients right out of the box. So, I've spent a lot of time trying to change that environment, change it from an environment where we're just not calling on our clients or potential clients to sell them stuff, and they're not just calling us when they need us. And I think that's where that overall sentiment comes from. We've come up with some really, I guess, untraditional ways of just keeping in touch and incorporating ourselves into our clients and our potential clients, and even in the overall media, using primarily social media, not just for branding, but to spread that culture and build this community.
Gotcha. Now let me ask you this. As a consumer, what am I looking for when picking a financial advisor? Is there a specific designation that's better than another one? What's your take?
I don't think so. I mean, I think a lot of folks in our industry have relied on designations to just boost their credibility. And at the end of the day, we're in business. Our business is driven by sales volume. And unfortunately, in our industry, you'll notice there's a few people that make a whole bunch of money. There's a really large population of advisors that don't make enough. And at the end of the day, that ends up hurting the consumer, because if, I know plenty of advisors who are very fluent in tax law and product pricing and everything else, but, they're salespeople. They don't have enough people to present their wares to, and they're just poor at marketing, whether it's because they can't afford it, or, they're not good at public speaking, whatever the reasoning is. But that ends up hurting our community because, products are sold inappropriately. All the things that you read about in the news about any product, that's where that comes from, in my mind. Right. And you won't find advisors who do plenty of business and have brand recognition and have that volume of business to support the fact that they can do the right thing for that client. That's, if I'm a consumer, that's the guy I'm looking for. And they're very easy to find, using the internet, which is where most of our clients reside right now.
Sure. Well, let me ask you this. What are a couple of the major concerns that you are seeing in your offices on a regular basis?
Yeah. Well, that's one of them. We see a lot of folks that what I would consider are hit-and-run clients. They're people that were sold product and the guy or gal is out of business or just sold them something and just disappeared. So we get a lot of those dormant clients out there that got in bed with a particular advisor and they just disappeared. We do a lot of reevaluation of those needs. From a consumer standpoint, the biggest things, the challenges that are being faced out there, specifically by the baby boomer community, is one, they want to be assured and come up with some type of game plan that they're never going to run out of money. That's stress number one. Stress number two is when and how do we file for Social Security? And stress number three is, how are all of the recent changes in healthcare going to affect them from a cost and from a risk perspective long term? So those are the three biggies.
Gotcha. Yeah, you know what? It's amazing how, I don't want to say complicated maybe, but definitely how sometimes difficult. I guess the word is complicated. I can't think of any other way of expressing it. But when you start thinking about tapping into Social Security, it does change things. It's interesting. It's not as simple as people think.
Yeah, well, and it's such a massive, daunting subject, and unfortunately, the vast majority of folks that are out there that are eligible at age 62, run right in there and file. And a lot of times, I ask people this all the time, what was your decision based on? And sometimes it's, well, my son works at a bank and he said so, and, or the guy that I golfed with did so, that's the type of planning people are doing when it comes to Social Security, unfortunately. And I think one of the flaws in our industry is the fact that advisors, are not paid to do that type of planning. Plus, like I said, it's such a massive subject that it takes some time to understand it and learn it. But I think that's one of the values that we bring to the table is we give that free Social Security advice. We answer those questions. And sometimes people are surprised at what they hear as far as, when, how, and if they should be filing. So. Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about this also real quick.
Yep.
You mentioned earlier that, you like to use social media, and certainly social media is still a hot topic. How are you using social media?
You know what? One of my goals in business was to, historically, we're not normally encouraged to or encourage our clients to talk to one another, and that's for a whole host of reasons. It could be because you were selling one product to one person and you don't really want, whatever the reason is. And in my business model, I'm trying to build this national community of interlaced clients via social media. I mean, we actually encourage our clients to get on there and share ideas and concerns and joys and things that are happening in their lives, because not only is it helpful for other clients that have the same issues that they're dealing with, but it also gives a good flavor to prospective clients that are looking at us as a firm, because this is really an ongoing testimonial of our clients, putting it out there in view, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter. So that's one of the things that we're doing, and it's working very, very well. And the second thing is, leveraging those relationships specifically on Twitter. Twitter is a place where you're not just promoting discussion, but you're raising awareness, you're building credibility. And the key there is content. And if you're writing your own original content like we are, you get people following you. Like, for instance, we've got some folks at Living Better After 50 or AARP or the Washington Post. Those are the folks that are not just, acknowledging the different slant on business that you're bringing to the table, but they're republishing your stuff. And that's just huge as far as, building an audience.
Yeah. You know what, and I like what you said there about publishing, your original content, your authentic original content. It's okay to, to put your slant on things and be authentic. And and some people are going to like you, and some people are going to dislike you, and that's all good.
Yeah. Well, and, I think one of the mistakes that people make in social media, specifically in business, and I'm connected to a lot of advisors and insurance groups and even insurance companies, they're not consistent in putting their message out there. They're not regularly engaging and conversating with people, and that's really what that platform is there for. But like you said, putting your content out there, a lot of folks use social media just to pitch, and you don't really build a following that way.
No.
Where if you look at our content mix, basically I post some just off-the-wall. So I do a weekly trivia that my clients love. We're getting about 3,000 views a day on just trivia. And it's just fun stuff. It's engaging. It raises conversation, makes people laugh, and it really brings people into learning not just about your company, but about, your personality. So I publish information on health, finances. Obviously, that's our topic, but we also repost and post information on travel, social media, or social issues, medical issues, and some examples of that. My last couple of blog posts are exercise tips for boomers, top 10 health tips for men over 50, and I regularly pick out holidays on a monthly basis, and I do a historical perspective of those particular holidays, and I did one recently on Rosa Parks, and people love that, not only because they can relate to it, but a lot of our clients and their parents lived through that, so it's fun.
No, I love that. I think that's a smart way of using social media and building really your brand's personality.
Yeah.
Because that's what
exactly
people connect to.
That's exactly right. The downside to it is at the beginning it's boring and it's not so much fun when you only have 3 followers, but eventually years later, the fun part hits when you actually have people going, who's that guy? And
right.
I really like your stuff, and that's the fun part.
Right. When other people are talking or reposting your stuff and talking about you, that's the fun part. That's the reward. But it's like anything else. It does take time. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, exactly. I have a good time with it. I mean, I originally came up with the trivia idea. I do a video email post to my clients and prospective clients and the children of our clients every week. And it's my way of putting my face in front of them, making them laugh. And the response has just been phenomenal because, like I said in the beginning of our conversation, all too often, we're calling them when we want to sell them something, and they're calling us when they need something. But putting my face in front of them every week and doing personalized birthday messages via video, not through the phone or anything like that, it's a lot of work, but that's the differentiator for us. And the trivia part is it was just a dumb idea I had that just took off. It's crazy. And I can't believe we're getting 3,000 views a day on that stuff.
Well, but it goes to show you, what's important to your clients. And they don't always want to hear about your business or about the financial industry. They want to have fun. They want to do stuff like that, and that's important. And
they want to be entertained, and they want to be engaged, and making them laugh every week is a good way of building that credibility and that bond with them without even picking up the phone. Really works well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole video birthday wish thing, I think that's exceptionally smart. It does. I could see it being a lot of work, but it also has a big payoff because you know what? A lot of people can send birthday cards. A lot of people can send you an email, but very few people are going to take the time to do a personalized video that just is about them. That speaks volumes.
Yeah, it's very powerful to hear your name and somebody speaking to you, even if it's on a computer screen. And it's interesting. We now have the technology that if they have a video camera on their computer, they can click a button and reply to me in video, which is we have this ongoing conversation through email, essentially. It's pretty cool.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, you know what? That is so cool. I could see that being totally cool. I mean, I really think that could be, you know, a lot of fun. And like you said, you get this ongoing conversation that really, again, it really just builds loyalty in that relationship, which everybody's trying to do.
Yeah, I can tell you we never get that phone call of, hey, we never hear from you. It never happens. Never happens. Sometimes I think they hear from me too much, but, you know, it's not intrusive. It's through email, you know, and it's,
right.
It's something that they can watch at their convenience. You're not badgering them on the phone. And like I said, when, you know, people ask what makes us different, you know, yeah, we're fluent and all those fun things, but the way that we communicate with our clients and the public, you know, the overall goal here is to basically educate everybody. That's how I feel I'm going to impact this industry, is by putting conversation out there and putting information out there that educates every level of the food chain as far as the financial services industry, from the client all the way up through the institutions that are managing money. And that's how you change the view. And once you start having people nodding and going, that's when things start to change. And I can see that happening, you know. There are bad products out there. There are bad advisors out there, and you don't have to put somebody on the grill. You can basically just have conversations that people read and see and get your message across, and that's the overall goal here.
I love it. Carl, we're out of time. Look, I'd love to bring you back and talk more, and maybe next time we can dig a little bit deeper about different financial, strategies, and you can people can visit you at the BarnowskiFinancialGroup.com.
Absolutely.
Carl Barnowski, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All righty. You bet. Guys, we're off and running. Great stuff. Great stuff there by Carl Barnowski about how to engage with your customers. I mean, here's the financial expert that, as you guys probably got that in the segment, we talked primarily because it's my fault. We got stuck on talking about customer relationship building, which is important to all of us, and I'll bring them back and talk more about finances later. But it was just a great way to stay in contact with your customers, because if you can build that relationship, then you can build that business. And
tune in Monday through Friday here on Money for Lunch, and check out our website at moneyforlunch.com.